Welcome to Self-Publishing with Ally, proudly sponsored by Publish Me, helping indie authors succeed globally with expert translation, tailored marketing, and publishing support. From first draft to international launch, Publish Me ensures your book reaches readers everywhere. Visit publishme.me. And now, here's your host for Self-Publishing with Ally, Dan Holloway.
Hello and welcome to the Self-Publishing News, and the really exciting news this week is what's happening next week. And what is happening next week is that for the majority of the time you will no longer just hear me as I speak with this delicious dulcet voice of mine. You will get to see me as well. So I am going to do my very best, and with Howard permitting, with his editorial marvellousness, you will see me as I speak and I gesticulate, and I get super excited about AI and European legislation. And I know Howard is worried about the number of ums and ahs that I use when I speak. So I will try and and ah a little less to make it easier for him to edit my face as well as my voice. So that's something to look forward to. And talking of all things superhuman, then one of the main news stories last week was the rebranding of one of writers everywhere, and by that I think I probably mean non-professional writers, everywhere's favourite apps, namely Grammarly. So Grammarly obviously is how do you describe it, supercharged spell check cum grammar check, sort of like the Microsoft Office paperclip, only I would say mildly less annoying, but I find it somewhat, at least as annoying as the Microsoft Office paperclip. But many people who write stuff, whether that's emails or articles, rely on it to help them with their writing. And Grammarly is rebranding itself and is calling itself henceforth Superhuman. So the product that you use, if you use the product, will still be called Grammarly. But the company that owns it will no longer be called Grammarly, it will be called Superhuman. And there will be indeed a Superhuman product called Superhuman Go, which isn't a very, very impressive engine for the board game. It is instead an AI assistant for Grammarly, because, of course, the world needs more AI assistants. And one of its features, very interestingly, is going to be apparently a plagiarism checker. So there we go. Grammarly is going to have an AI plagiarism checker. And as I mentioned in the column, it feels like someone forgot to activate the irony checker, shall we say. And while we're on the subject of AI, there is a new charter about AI, and this charter is for the European and International Booksellers Federation. They have issued a charter on AI and AI use that has 11 points. And as we have more time here than I have in my column, I am going to share those points with you. So we have 11 points, and very importantly, these really focus on copyright. So copyright is absolutely at the heart of this as a charter for, as they put it, what they believe matters to the future of AI and how AI is used. So there is a lot more detail than this in the paper itself, but I'll read the headlines. So number 1 of the 11 guiding principles: copyright is the bedrock of our industry. Number 2, copyright enables innovation. So there we go. Front and center is the importance of copyright. Number 3, governance and accountability are needed to level the playing field. And number 4, a human-centric and ethical Gen AI is the way forward for our industry. So governance and making sure that there is a firm set of guardrails in place is seen as being essential, as indeed is customer transparency. So principle number 5, consumers have the right to know. And on a similar principle, environmental sustainability is key. So it matters that this is done right. It matters that it is done ethically. Interestingly, there is a further sort of, you might call it an ethical dimension, but they're very much an indie and small player dimension here. When They say in principle number 7, competitiveness means that small and medium-sized enterprises and micro companies are not left behind. So very much emphasizing the importance of small businesses like indeed we are. Number 8, bookshops require compliant solutions. So that feels a little bit, that's a bit technical. Number 9, generative AI should be based on consent. Number 10, AI has the potential to support and help booksellers. And number 11, we need research and assessments of the risks and impact of generative AI. So as a set of principles, there are a couple of areas in which clearly AI is considered to be something that can be highly beneficial, but there is in general a call, I won't say so much for caution as for a firm steering hand to make sure that the ship gets steered in the right direction and people don't get left behind. In particular, small players, indies, small businesses don't get left behind. So it feels like that's a fairly much in line with a lot of what we've seen other charters putting out. And that means that we're starting to see a landscape emerging in which people on the creative side of things are calling for their industry, I guess their industry to protect them is the way to put it. So, and not just to think about the big companies in the field. So one of the things this contrasts with is some of the more positive statements around AI that we have seen, for example, from the Association of American Publishers, which you might say represents much, much bigger industries. And talking of big and small, there was a very interesting announcement last week of a new $50 million literary arts fund. So this is a huge amount of money. It comes as we are in full-on prize season, so we're used to talking about books and writers and the whole book industry winning lots and lots of money, whether that's £50,000 for the Booker Prize or what is it now? 875,000 for the Nobel. We're used to talking about people winning lots of money. This literary arts fund is designed to give a lot of money to a lot of smaller organisations. So that's where it's really of interest to us. They are looking specifically to support non-profits in the US who directly support writers and creators. And the aim is that at least $50 million will be given away in grants by 2031 to those organisations who will in turn give onward to writers and creators. So it's very much something that could benefit a lot of us and that we need to keep our ear to the ground for when it comes to availability of funding that has come through this. So November the 10th is the key date to look out for. Obviously, that's just a few days away. So on Monday, November the 10th, the first call for grant applications is going to open. There isn't very much in the moment about eligibility, so I would recommend you keep your eyes peeled to look out for the announcement of that first call, so that if there is anything in which writers or writers groups might be eligible directly to apply, you do not miss out on the opportunity to do so. But also keep an eye out on the kind of terms that are being talked about, because that will inform the kind of organisations who do receive these grants, and that in turn will inform the possibility for you as indie authors to benefit from them. So that feels like some positive news to end with. So I will leave you with that. I very much look forward, I will say for the last time, to talking to you again next week, because next week I will be talking to you and seeing you, or rather you will be seeing me. So see me then, as it were, and have a very happy weekend and week in the meanwhile.
You've been listening to Self-Publishing with Ally, proudly sponsored by Publish Me, helping indie authors succeed globally with expert translation, tailored marketing, and publishing support. From first draft to international launch, Publish Me ensures your book reaches readers everywhere. Visit publishme.me, and if you haven't already, we invite you to join our association and become a self-publishing ally. You could do that at allianceindependentauthors.org.